right now on 5 on your side at 10.
More cold air is on the way. This time, though, it won't be as bitter. I'm timing how long before a warmer pattern develops.
Chilling new photos tonight in the search for a killer. The hopes these images could bring justice for a Metro East woman. Ameren customers charged up.
Y'all based it on how much money you can make.
The electric meeting tonight over a proposed rate hike.
How can you expect for this to go up? I mean, people pay that. And I think that's horrible.
We start tonight at 10 with the weather impact forecast. We're out of the deep freeze temporarily, but another shot of cold air is just hours away. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. Another cold front is headed our way right now, and it's bringing the chance of snow flurries. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell tracking the timing, Scott.
Well, up there at Mark Twain's little house in Hannibal, they had a very thin little coating of snow during the evening hours tonight, but that's been about the extent of it. We don't have much going on around St. Louis. Clouds are starting to increase. That breeze is still up, so there is still a bit of a wind chill. And yes, we do see some snow showing up on radar. Part of what was up towards the Hannibal and Quincy area, that's now drifting towards Litchfield, but the air is so dry, most of that's not reaching the ground. Now, we do think some of that's out west of Bowling Green, out towards Mexico and Vandalia. You're probably seeing some snow flurries out of that. That's what we can expect through the overnight hours. We're basically allowing more cold air to drop our way, and in that process here through the overnight hours, we get a few sprinkles. So overnight until about 9 o'clock, yes, it's still cold, but it's not bitter cold. Flurries, maybe some black ice from anything that melted that refreezes. So you might need just a hair of an extra minute or two out the door tomorrow, and you want to make sure you're layered up. Our temperatures tomorrow morning, they will be in the upper 20s, and they really don't go up tomorrow. They'll hold about steady and drop off. One really cold day or one really cold morning still left. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Tonight, dozens of Ameren, Missouri customers packed a public meeting and sent a clear message to the utility.
They don't want to see an increase in their electric bills. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend was there and talked to customers who say they can't afford the rate hike.
Mike and Kelly have passed. The rate hike would increase Ameren, Missouri customers' bills more than $17 a month. Now tonight, many customers told the utility they're already struggling to pay bills and don't need another one to go up. On a cold winter night, they packed the cafeteria at St. Louis Community College, Forest Park. Dozens of fired-up seniors, couples, and other Ameren, Missouri customers concerned about seeing a possible jump in their electric bills.
Ameren, I know you need your money, but you're not thinking of the people that bring you the money.
We haven't gotten a raise.
Ameren wants to raise its rates by 15%. If the Missouri Public Service Commission passes the proposal, customers' monthly bills would increase by $17.45. Diane Perry, a retiree and St. Louis County NAACP member, just one of the many customers who told Ameren officials just say no to the potential rate hike.
They got family situations, job situations. How can you expect for this to go up? I mean, people pay that. And I think that's horrible. I'm one of the people.
According to the Public Service Commission, in December, more than 170,000 Ameren, Missouri customers were behind paying their bills.
I don't know how people, especially that are on the very edge of being able to afford everyday expenses, are going to be able to afford a rate increase.
Y'all don't base that on how much money you receive. Y'all base it on how much money you can make.
But Ameren officials say the rate hike is needed for system-wide changes, upgrades, and will benefit customer service.
We see the need to make the capital investments that we're making in order to shorten outages for people and hopefully avoid outages for as many customers as possible.
Tell your shareholders and your people upstairs, you need to look at the times.
The Missouri Public Service Commission will make a final decision on the proposed hike by May or June. Now, the PSC will hold virtual public meetings on Thursday and Friday and another in-person meeting next Wednesday in Sunset Hills. We posted all of the information on KSDK.com.
Tonight, the Major K Squad is calling the murder of a Collinsville woman a targeted attack. And they released these new surveillance photos of her accused killer. 32-year-old Portia Rowland was shot and killed outside her home yesterday morning. while warming up her car. Neighbors reported hearing screams followed by 3 gunshots before the suspect fled the scene.
This was very out of the ordinary. The major case squad with about 30 investigators from all over the area have been actively investigating the case, tracking down leads. They've obtained a lot of video evidence and are out actively seeking more.
If you have any information, you can leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers, 866-371-TIPS.
5 on Your Side has learned a grand jury handed down indictments on both suspects in the shooting death of CBC hockey player Colin Brown. Garrett Jordan and Donovan Balcom face several charges, including murder. Balcom was in court today where he waived an arraignment and pleaded not guilty. Jordan told the court he was not guilty last month. Brown was killed by a stray bullet in November while driving home from a hockey game on I-55. Prosecutors believe Jordan was firing a rifle from a car driven by Balcom. A former Francis Howell School District bus driver has pleaded guilty in federal court to charges he recorded his sexual abuse of 2 young girls. Robert Stillwell of St. Peter's was arrested last spring, about a year after he left the district. Prosecutors are recommending a 30-year prison sentence for the 67-year-old. Turmoil, turnover, and now transformation. The St. Louis School Board faces a watershed moment as 12 candidates compete for 3 seats this April.
Following a year marked by the superintendent's firing and a board member's sudden resignation, Brent Solomon has a closer look tonight at the hopefuls vying to reshape the future of a district in distress.
Candidates pitching their plans and the crowd coming with questions. Speaker after speaker giving candidates for the St. Louis School Board an opportunity to weigh in, many of them not holding back on their concerns.
What we don't want is the inconsistency in transportation. What we don't want is the shortage of our teachers and also a lack of after-curriculum activity.
Visit one of our high schools, especially those high schools on the north side. Go into the classroom of one class and listen to them read. I cried.
Black children in our school district are reading somewhere around 15 to 20% proficiency.
Contrary to what people are saying, our reading numbers are up, so our kids can read.
The Green Party of St. Louis partnering with several community groups to organize a forum so voters can make an informed choice for the 3 positions to fill.
It's a really important race this year. The district is making slow, steady progress. We're fully accredited. We have money in the rainy day fund. You know, it's time for us to turn the page and start moving forward.
Now, this is the crew hitting the campaign trail to vie for your vote.
My undergrad degree is elementary education with a cognate minor in early childhood. I have taught school.
I'm the only candidate who currently has kids enrolled in SLPS.
We desperately need change.
Before the election, there's already one opening. A school board member resigned last week. The school board will now appoint a replacement. That's expected to come by early February. That person will get to work right after being sworn in. I'm Brent Solomon, 5 on Your Side.
Today, St. Louis city leaders fought to keep St. Louis police under city control. Mayor Tashara Jones and Police Chief Robert Tracy spoke at multiple hearings in Jefferson City as Republican lawmakers pushed legislation to bring the police department under state control. Both Jones and Tracy said state control could undermine the progress they've made so far, bringing up the 15% decrease in overall crime from last year. That statistic sparking debate in the Capitol.
You'll hear today that over the last year, crime statistics in the city of St. Louis are on the decline, and therefore this bill isn't necessary. The truth is the reliability of those crime statistics has come under massive federal and state scrutiny.
Our statistics are showing crime is going down, Senator. It's very disappointing. You know why it's disappointing? Because you're disparaging all the good work of these officers that have been doing day in and day out.
A state takeover was a top campaign promise from Governor Mike Kehoe. St. Louis police were under state control up until 2013.
Chilling new video tonight inside a high school cafeteria in Nashville, Tennessee, as students ran for cover when gunshots rang out.
We kept hearing like gunfire in the front of the cafeteria. Then people looked around screaming, and we ran behind the garbage cans. And then we saw people getting shot on the ground, bleeding and stuff.
A 16-year-old girl was killed, another student injured. Police say the 17-year-old gunman, who was also a student, later shot and killed himself. Tonight, police searched the gunman's home. The motive is still unknown. Tonight, we're learning a massive fight broke out during a basketball tournament at a St. Louis high school. This happened Monday night at Cardinal Ritter. Police say they were tipped off to a planned fight between a group of girls. Nearly all of the officers on duty in 4 districts responded to break up the fight. That's when a number of smaller fights started. Police say it's evident this is a much larger problem.
We have conflict resolution issues amongst our community, and that's nothing unique to St. Louis. We see it all across the country where people don't know how to solve problems civilly, and so they resort to a hands-on approach or in other worse cases, using guns.
Nobody was seriously hurt in this case. Cardinal Ritter administrators are praising a group of students who tried to stop the fight.
A St. Peter's woman charged with arson in Puerto Rico was in court today. Danielle Bertozzi faces at least 5 years in prison. She is accused of burning down 3 businesses in the country earlier this month. Her attorney asked the judge to let her out on bond, but the prosecutor argued she needs to stay in custody. Local leaders say the judge should take the crime's impact into account before making a decision.
I think that every action has consequences, and the judge should see that and interpret that, and also take into account how it really devastated hundreds of thousands of people across the diaspora, in addition to these businesses that, really are going to be restarting from scratch.
The St. Louis Puerto Rican Society will host a fundraiser next month to help the businesses.
Navigating the bumpy road to recovery.
People coming out of treatment don't have anywhere to go.
Tonight we take you inside the first of its kind home in Missouri, giving new hope for people battling for their lives.
They were the ones who truly believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself.
Anybody ready for the January thaw? How long this next batch of Arctic air lingers, and if any more snow is in our future.
For the first time since 2019, opioid overdose deaths are down across Missouri. Researchers credit the decrease to the widespread availability of a life-saving antidote, naloxone.
They also point to expanded support programs for all stages of recovery. New at 10, 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski gets an inside look at Live Recovery, the first respite home in the state.
Marijuana and drinking alcohol,
ecstasy,
cocaine and heroin.
In 2017, drugs had taken hold of so many people's lives in the St. Louis area.
Black men in particular were leading in overdoses at 80%.
To fight the opioid epidemic,
LIV Recovery, this is Veronica. May I help you?
Cameo Jones opened the doors of Live Recovery to people struggling with addiction.
People coming out of treatment don't have anywhere to go that's going to help them continue using the tools that they learned in treatment. And that's where recovery housing came in.
Who's winning over here?
They grew from 1 recovery house with 30 to 40 beds to 5 and a respite home, the very first in the state of Missouri.
What is the difference between a respite house and maybe a sober living house or a different recovery house?
For most recovery housing, you have to have at least 30 days of sobriety. You've made that decision to be in recovery when you go to a recovery house or sober living. Respite's different. Respite is meeting you wherever you're at. And we put that responsibility on us and our staff to plant those seeds and show them what recovery can bring.
Tucked into a quiet old North St. Louis street is Liv's respite home. It's where Chris Calvert and Andre Mack truly changed their lives forever.
I thought it was a place that they were selling, get away with free cell phones. I went over there too, and actually it was a place that was actually helping people try to get into houses like this, recovery, sober houses.
Because of their addiction, both men turned to crime to get by.
Couldn't work, couldn't keep a job. Ended up homeless.
I felt like I had one of 2 ways to go. One of them was going to be do the most honorable thing I could do on one end and just take my own life or disappear. All right, come on.
Chris says the other option was to take treatment seriously.
Day by day, buddy, day by day.
When he first walked into Live Recovery, he had more than 20 active warrants for his arrest in 8 different jurisdictions.
I just knew, honestly, at that point, I wanted to stop hurting people.
And with the help of the Live staff, the courts, and loved ones by his side, today he's warrant-free.
They were the ones really who truly believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself.
Everything's going good.
Andre had fallen out of touch with his family, but it became motivation.
I had 3 kids that I wanted to get back out there too. I had a sick mother.
Recovery-wise, how's things going?
Now they both live by example to give others the hope they once needed.
If you would have asked me a year and a half ago if my dreams, aspirations, or sense of purpose was something that was even a possibility, excuse me. I wouldn't have had an answer for you. Today, I can tell you that I do believe my dreams, aspirations, and my search and to find purpose is actually a thing.
So it's working for a lot of people. So what's next for this organization?
Yeah, they actually just bought a house down the street from their respite home in North St. Louis and just opened at the beginning of the month. It's a recovery house specifically designed for men who need long-term housing. It can be the next step after the respite home. And Live Recovery is always in need of donations. You can find out more about how to help on KSDK.com.
So good to see their success stories.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, thanks, Laura. All right, let's check in again with Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with his weather impact forecast. It was starting to get warmer a little bit.
Yeah.
Temperature's 26 degrees warmer today than it was yesterday.
But now you're talking about colder again?
Well, yeah, but it's not like yesterday's cold. Yesterday's was, another level. Down below zero early in the morning, feeling like even colder than that. Here's the thing. It's mainly dry right now. We're still hanging right around freezing in St. Louis. Off to the east, it's a little colder. We're trying to push that warmer air your way, but still only 23 over around Flora, 27 at Scott Air Force Base. Sullivan's 32, so is Rolla, so is Chesterfield. Lambert actually went up a couple of degrees this hour. There's your wind chills. Winds have turned more to the west here as you go west of the Mississippi. They're still out of the southwest off to the east. Once we turn them to the west, that does warm it up a little bit. Now, there is some snow on the radar. Don't be alarmed. The air is very dry, so most of this is not reaching the ground. Some of that darker blue that you see approaching Bowling Green and approaching northern portions and central portions of Lincoln County here, you probably will get some flurries. Hawk Point, down towards Truxton, Warrenton, up to Bowling Green. What's the weather impact? Well, there's not going to be a big impact from that, but there are some major temperature swings happening. There are no major storms, though, in our forecast over the next few days. Right now in St. Louis, 34 degrees. Wind chill, 27. Dew points, 15. That air's still pretty dry. 37 was a high today. 10 was a low. That was right after midnight, and then temperatures started up. Tonight, we're dropping back into the mid to upper 20s. That'll happen a little after daybreak with some flurries. Tomorrow, your flurry chance, mostly during the first part of the day. After lunchtime, the chance for flurries will diminish, but the cold air really start surging in. This is it. This is the system coming at us. More energy in the upper levels of the atmosphere, dropping to the south and east, reinforcing the cold air in place, but doing so a little more subtly than what we just went through. So overnight tonight, early tomorrow morning, could there be a little coating of snow north of St. Louis? Sure. It's not expected to be an impact. Can't find a model that has more than 1/10 of an inch of snowfall. 1/10. That's 0.01. Liquid. It's not going to happen. Not going to be a big deal. Then this weekend, this is the big deal. We have sunshine on Friday. It's the coldest day really out of the next 10. Saturday, back into the mid to upper 40s. We go into Sunday, we're a little bit colder. The storm track this weekend, still to our south. Yes, we get some clouds. Doesn't look like there's much of a chance for rain or snow. And then look at next week, would you?
Yes, we are.
Oh, boy. 44 on Monday, 50 on Tuesday, 51 on Wednesday. We've had to wait for this January thaw, don't you think?
Yes, we have.
Just a little bit.
Frank Cusimano's going to be in shorts next week.
Yeah, maybe in his Crocs there.
Yeah. It's Crocs.
I cannot see him in Crocs.
Is Monique going to let you wear Crocs, Frank?
I'm not sure Italians wear Crocs.
Oh, my goodness.
We have a real-life Lazarus story in high school hoops. SLU tried to stay smoking hot in conference play, and we're playing hit and run with the one and only Mike Martz.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Onder Law Injury Attorneys.
There is an expression about bad shooting performances. They couldn't throw it in the ocean if they were on the beach. On SLU's first 22 three-pointers, they made 3. Kelly Jackson on the anchor set could make 4. So they were blown out, right? No, because LaSalle had a stretch where they missed 20 straight shots. So when your team is shooting like this, what should a coach do? Rant and rave? No, Josh Schertz clapped and encouraged. But SLU has Robbie Avila and LaSalle doesn't. There's a 3. He doesn't play the game, he sees the game, 5 assists, including this one to Dylan Warlick. Unselfish play is like the flu, it's contagious. Look at Isaiah Swope find Kobe Johnson. LaSalle went to their Matador defense a little bit later and just said, "Olé!" The goggled one was unstoppable, 21 points. SLU moves to 5-1 in the conference with a 64-52 victory.
Thought we competed our brains out defensively, and that's really hard to do when you're stinking it up offensively. And we were missing a ton of shots, and that was a game. 6 weeks ago we lose.
The reporting of hockey injuries is more nebulous than my wife's taste in men. I mean, a lower body injury could mean a toenail or an ACL. Today, Philip Broberg had to be assisted off the ice after sliding into the boards. All we know is Broberg is being evaluated, and I'd bet the salaries of our news anchors that tomorrow we get 3 words: lower body injury. One word for this basketball team: resurrection. The Principia Panthers should be nicknamed the Fighting Lazaruses because they've risen from the dead. In the 4 years before Coach Jay Blossom arrived, they won a combined 15 games. And now they're 17-0. They are loaded with college prospects, and they are a budding powerhouse.
Just to see the process from then to where we are right now is I guess it probably has gone a little quicker than I would have thought. I've coached 30 some odd years, and this is one of the more special teams I've had.
This year, building up, we just Principia just as a community is just locked in on the sport and just locked in as a community to grow and be better.
So we love to play a game called Hit and Run. It's rapid fire Q&A with a sports celebrity with no hedging allowed. Tonight, in the 25th anniversary year of the greatest show on turf, we play with the architect of it, Coach Mike Martz. If there were not football in this world, what do you think you would have done with your life?
Construction.
Smartest player you ever coached?
Marshall Faulk.
Out in front of Marshall Faulk, crisscrossing receivers, confusing Indianapolis.
The maddest Dick Vermeil ever got at Mike Martz.
He thought I was being disrespectful, Jim Hannafin. He called me in the office one-on-one, chewed me out over it.
And you and Hanny were tight.
Yeah.
One player you coached that you'd want protecting your family?
Grant Wistrom.
Most treasured piece of sports memorabilia from the 1999 season you have at your house?
I don't have it. John Shaw's got it in his office out in L.A. It's the call sheet, the game plan for the Super Bowl.
Caught by Isaac Bruce, makes the move to the 30, 25-20, and they won't catch him today.
Well, you got to get that back, right?
He said he'll give it to me in time.
Every quarterback is healthy in age 22 to start your franchise with. Who do you choose?
Josh Allen.
And finally, how would Mike Martz like to be remembered?
A good teacher, a man who loved the game and did the best I could to help others get better. Let me just say this. My job as a coach is simply this. This is how I looked at it. My goal was to help a player, a group of players, or a team perhaps achieve something that they didn't know or think they could achieve. And that's why I did it.
And you can't deny those results. Sunday night, Sports Plus will be dedicated to the greatest show on turf, a half-hour special.
I cannot get over it's been 25 years. That just makes you feel old, doesn't it, Frank?
Yes.
All right, the Oscar nominations will be announced tomorrow morning. Tonight, 5 on Your Side's Annie Krall and Gold Derby Academy Awards expert Tariq Khan are breaking down the contenders. We'll be right back. St. Louis-based Build-A-Bear Workshop celebrated National Hug Day with a new line of huggable plushes. The weighted bear and sloth also feature a removable heart that can be warmed up and placed back inside. Research suggests hugging can reduce stress and boost oxytocin levels.
Nothing says romantic dinner like Waffle House. The casual diner chain is transforming some of its restaurants into a fine dining experience for Valentine's Day with white tablecloths, candlelight, and a special menu. This includes the locations on Telegraph Road in South County and 5th Street in St. Charles. Reservations are required, Frank. There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
And start your day with Today in St. Louis, and that starts at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.
Monique.